That pressure down there, they couldn't have beaten us. That's disappointing. We had the match won, and I dare say perhaps the World Cup won in that last 7 minutes, and let it get away.
Well, this time last week, Donald Lenihan was in Sydney preparing for the match against Australia. The Wallabies beat you, and now they're out.
Yeah, I thought the Australians really disappointed me after their performance last week. I think it's been a factor with them. In their pool games, they didn't play very well. And, you know, I think they felt all the time that they could produce the goods on the big day when it mattered most. Unfortunately for us, they did it for 20-25 minutes, and again they felt they went into a second gear. And I think in that game there today, the French were just far hungrier. Their backs especially were far more physical and far more committed than the Australians, and I think they deserved the victory, really.
No, I think, yeah, in fairness to them, we must say that there were a couple of factors that militated against Australia. Toynman is a super player and he wasn't playing, and having Campbell also going out, it meant that they had a lot of height missing at the back of the line, which is one of their strengths, isn't it, Donald?
Well, that's right, yeah. Well, Campbell, as Jones said there, he was calling the shots for them all last week. He's their pack leader, and I think he's been a more consistent second row for them than Cutler in the tournament, and because he went out, it meant that they had to put a number 8 in the second row, which obviously affected their scrummaging. And having Miller and Poidevin, who are two small wing forwards, and then bring in Cody, who's another wing forward, they were lacking an awful lot of height in the back of the lineup where France are at their strongest, and France won an awful lot of ball there, and again they tidied it up well and they drove well, and as I say, I mean, I wouldn't have said that France would have won that much ball. Looking at the Australians last week, their scrummaging was also of excellent quality even before Campbell went off, and I think that was the platform of their victory.
Well, now, France, of course, started off badly. They went 9-0 down, and then, turning right behind at half-time, they eventually took the lead with this try from Philippe Sella.
Can his men hold on to the 3-point?
Yes, he's a beautiful runner. But I think we must say that France all the time have tried to keep the ball moving, tried to keep it alive, and there's forwards coming in all over the place and picking up the ball. I think it's Loriot does a great job here. Tidies it up, drives.
Donald, I dare say you'd have been proud of that.
Well, yeah, I think he's involved twice in the movement. He takes it on here again, but at all times when they take the ball on, they make it available and they just drive over and leave it for the backs.
It's not a super ball.
Now Menel, now Sella.
Silken runner, isn't he?
What a great try, Philippe Sella.
I think he notices that the defence is closing outside him, so he takes the chance and comes in.
It's an interesting one here. The wrestling the ball away, Loriot.
It's amazing, really, because Coker he'd all the hard work done, getting off the ground and taking the ball with two hands is the hardest thing to do against the French, and he had that done. But Loriot does exceptionally well here, but I think, you know, the French or the Australian blockers must be called into question there for leaving the hands get in, you know. It was a stupid try to give away from the Australian point of view.
Of course, the coach Alan Jones was making just that point. You weren't in a position last week to make them make the errors like that until it was too late. And unfortunate from Ireland's point of view, but certainly the French punished them all the way and never gave up until the very end and got the reward.
Oh, the French, I think it's been a factor of their play throughout the season. They have been very disciplined, and even when the pressure has been on them, they've held their heads. When we go back to our own game against them at Lansdowne Road, being 10-0 up, they never panicked. So it's the same in that game there today. I think the lead changed 3 or 4 times. But even in the last 20 minutes of the game, Australia raised their performance. They came back, they went ahead, and France made mistakes, but they got the scores in the end.
And this proves the point, because right late in the game, this is the try that Cody got. Suspicion of a knock-on here, John, I think, at the time.
Looked like a knock-on from here, anyway.
Jumps high and gets it down.
Doesn't seem to go forward.
France trying to get over it.
Though suddenly the French defences there's nobody standing out on the far side. It seemed to go forward.
Don't think it went forward from the hand.
Fred doesn't agree.
Nobody was really getting over it, but Cody wasn't going to be stopped.
Cody did have a good game.
That it counted that. Brought it back from 15-21 to 19-21. Michael Lina got into the conversion. That was 21 apiece. And now we were into that enthralling final phase, which turned the game on its head. I think, would anybody have bet on France at that stage?
Well, we were just saying it here, knowing the result. Would you put money in France? I think also we must say that this is the first time that we've seen the Australian team under pressure. all the time they've been making the running. This is the first time people have been running at them, and once or twice they seem to be standing off a little bit. I mean, they're used to doing the running, getting the ball, bang, 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 support.
This is the crucial try, the one that, as Fred said, put them in the final.
Jones feeds it out to Lina. Lina looks outside and finds Herbert. Now Cody. Miller is there for us.
This was really a remarkable passage of events, bearing in mind that the game is almost over.
The interesting thing there is that Australia had that ball, and again they lost it, and out of nowhere when they were in an attacking position they're way down in defence and in trouble.
But look at this. Ondart comes up. Marvellous pick-up. They're very athletic, aren't they?
But the support play here is outstanding.
Terrific.
He's got room and Blanco. Lajuske ignores Blanco.
Must be said that there was two people there. They should have tackled Lajuske.
But what a strong runner he is, and that's Blanco in, and the match is won for France. Converted in 30 points to 24 was the final score. But we can't bring Donald Linehan all this way from Cork without asking him about Australia. Common belief here was 7 weeks off before we went was a mistake.
Well, I suppose it's easy to speak with hindsight, but I think we felt that certainly out there after the Welsh game. There was two schools of thought, and the IRFU were worried that people would be injured, in matches going up to it. But I think that was certainly the difference between ourselves and Wales in that game. It was very frustrating for the players, because I'd say the 6 weeks that we had prior to going out there, Irish rugby players have never trained so hard, and there's never been as fit. To go out on a pitch and feel as lethargic and as dead as we did was very frustrating. And it was only by the Tongan match that our fitness came to the fore, and even, taking out the bad first half we had in Australia, in the last 10 minutes of the Australian game we really felt sharp and fit. Obviously our play just wasn't up to scratch, and that was disappointing. We put in a lot of work and we didn't get the results for it. But I think, we've come back a lot wiser. We found a few new players like Terry Kingston and Neil Francis, who I'm sure will have done well out of the experience. And I think we can only improve as a result of the whole experience.
Well, I think that's the point, isn't it, really? You learn by these journeys and by these trips and matches. And Donald, anyway, it's great to see you back, even if you have come back without the prize that we would like to have seen. And John West, too, thanks very much indeed for contributing to our discussion over the weeks. We'll see you before the end of the competition's over. Now, for a little bonus that we promised you. Not so much the little, mind you, because the prize is a pretty big one. You've just seen France running all over Australia there. In the end, you can see France in the flesh if you win our competition, because courtesy of Malahide Travel, we're putting 2 tickets up for grabs for France against Ireland in Paris in the spring. That's next season's Five Nations Championship. All you have to do is look at these tries, 10 of them in all, and decide which order they're in. Not them all, just the 1, 2, 3, and here they are.
Try A. The New Zealand fullback John Kerwin against Italy.
So Ambrosio kicks off. The Italians are beaten right out of the action now. New Zealand have scored 48 points, and they might be looking for 50. John Kerwin. And what a way to bring up 50 points in an opening test for the first time.
Try B. Marcello Cotita on Italy's left wing against Argentina.
Italians have quickly taken the line out. Running it out towards their left wing three-quarter, Cotita. He's got pace as well, Cotita. Oh, beautiful. Brilliant try.
Try C. Ray Nelson, the United States fullback, against Australia.
Lambert is held up, only a metre short. Saunders, Horton, cut-out pass. Neil, out to Nelson. Nelson going for the corner, and Nelson will score.
Try D. Andy Earle playing for New Zealand against Argentina.
Well snaffled off the ground by Wetton. Earle to Brook. That's the 22. Kirk. Earle. And Earle. Try.
Try E. A.G. Kutsuiki for Japan against Australia.
Japan comes away. Now it's Nofumuli, very elusive runner. Japan looking dangerous. Look at this. There's a big line on the left. It has to be another try to Japan. Katsuki.
Try F. Hugo McNeil for Ireland against Tonga.
Bradley.
Feeds Ward. Now Irwin. Back to Ward, back to Mullen. He held it well. Looks for McNeil. This is McNeil. Hugo McNeil is in. Try.
Try G. Bruce Papworth for Australia against the USA.
Smith, Papworth, the jink. Jigging again, Papworth. Going himself, Papworth will score a brilliant try.
Try H. Philippe Sella for France against Scotland.
Vizier, will it be meant for Sean? Yes. Yes, good up there. Taken by Dubroca, Irbani, good tackle by Tate. Fed on along there to Charvet. Great chance here as Lashiske goes. And what a chance, what a brilliant try.
Try J. Matt Duncan for Scotland against France.
Halfway. So. Good turn by So. Laidlaw. The chip there again meant for Duncan behind Esteve. Finlay Calder back inside to Tomes. Tomes tackled by Blanco. Magnificent surge again by the Scots. Can they do it? Along the line there to Wiley. The feed on to Calder taking it on. Now it's Laidlaw once more. And Duncan's in. The try is given.
And try K. Manas Koro for Fiji against France.
That was Blanco. The crossfield, Gary Owen. Sharvey was up very quickly on his man. Look at this run by Nawalu. Oh, this is thrilling the crowd. Marvellous stuff. Tom Mitchell. Mitchell is going all the way. Back inside. It's going to be a try for number 6, Nongoro.
So here's the list again. Try A. John Kerwin. Try B. Marcello Cotita. Try C. Ray Nelson. Try D. Andy Earl. Try E. Eiji Kutsuiki. Try F. Hugo McNeil. Try G. Bruce Papworth. Try H. Philippe Sella. Try J. Matt Duncan. Try K. Manas Koro. When you've made your decision, put your 3 best on a postcard or the outside of a sealed envelope, please, and send them to us at World Cup Tries Competition, P.O. Box 718, Ballsbridge, Dublin 4, and of course don't forget to include your own name and address. Tries Competition, P.O. Box 718, Ballsbridge, Dublin 4, and please let us have your entry no later than first post next Wednesday.
And a good prize for you there, courtesy of Malahide Travel. Trip for 2 to Paris, accommodation included, and tickets for the match, France against Ireland, the Five Nations Championship, next spring. Well, France now in the final of the World Cup. It makes the prize a pretty good one to win. And after all that excitement, I think I'll turn my attention to another piece of exciting sport. Stephen Roach going for the win in the Tour of Italy this afternoon. That's on Sports Stadium. Don't miss it. But we leave the rugby for now with a look back at some of these marvellous moments from France against Australia. Moments that saw France into the World Cup final.
Lawton throws. One for Cutler to get.